Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back to Characters Explained, a series where I cover characters from the game Battle for Neighborville to ultimately decide if they're worth trying. And in today's video, we have one of the 3 unlockable characters in the game, that being TV Head. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. So I would normally include a character's background in their video, but unless you count that one foot soldier cosmetic as a background for TV Head, I don't really think he has one. He was literally made for this game. But moving forward, TV Head is a swarm character, and according to BFN, that means that he's a bit weak on his own. But he becomes much more of a threat when he's surrounded by AI and other TV heads. This makes him and his counterpart Wildflower very unique characters, and we'll definitely talk about it some more when we get to that point. But for now, let's look at his basic stats. He has 100 HP, and his primary, the Unkind Rewind, deals 11 damage normally, with 13 being the critical damage. The RPM is 280, and he holds 25 ammo. This primary on its own is just fine, it's not really that strong, but he does have a couple of tricks up his sleeves, and one of them is a melee attack. This secondary is called the Snack Attack, and it deals 50 damage flat. Now, due to this being a melee attack, it's not guaranteed to hit, so don't use it unless you're absolutely confident that you're in the correct range for it to work. But besides that, this thing is pretty strong. Now, one last thing we should discuss before moving on to his abilities is that he has an armor mechanic, where being near AI such as pots or spawnables or being near other TV heads gives him armor, and this is stackable. The exact percent of armor you get for being near AI is 20 for 1, 35 for 2, and 45 for 3 and beyond. This number extends to player TV heads as well, and it stacks even higher here with 55 for 4 and 60 for 5 and beyond. That could go pretty high for being what is basically an imposter AI. Now let's move on to his abilities, and they're pretty interesting. First up is the Commercial Break, which is basically the tactical insertion from COD. This ability lets you place down a bucket anywhere reasonable, and this bucket acts like an optional spawn point. The bucket itself only has about 30 HP, so try to hide it well. And when TV Head spawns at this bucket, he gets a temporary immunity, so he can actually do something against people who might be camping it, unlike a certain Overwatch hero. Overall, this ability is pretty good, and it's definitely one of the most unique abilities in the game. Next up is Yeti Set Go, which lets you take control of a Yeti Imp that could blow up on your command. This Yeti Imp only has 15 HP, so don't expect it to tank hits or anything, but it makes up for that by dealing 110 damage, and applying a temporary freeze effect to whoever you hit. This Yeti is pretty good, and it's actually useful for a lot more reasons than you might think. One interesting application told to me by Deformed Sock in my comment section is that it can actually cancel a burrow if timed right. I haven't ever been able to replicate this, but I know it's possible, so that's pretty neat. We'll definitely talk about this upgrade more in the upgrade section, because it gets a pretty cheesy upgrade. Finally, we have Overheated Dinner, which is basically that one attack that AI TV heads have. When activated, this ability lets you throw out an explosive plate of dinner that deals 75 damage to whatever it hits, while also knocking them back a little bit. Unlike Wildflower's similar ability, this one can actually sit around for a couple of seconds, so you can actually get some pretty well timed hits if you play smart. Overall, it's a decent little ability. Overall, TV Head's basic kit is a bit odd. It's definitely good, but it is not the norm for any character, and that carries greatly into his upgrades, so let's talk about them. So TV Head is very unique when it comes to his upgrades, and the best way I can show you this is by simply showing you his base 10 upgrades. He gets some normal ones, but he also gets a variety of upgrades from different roles. As crazy as it seems, TV Head has a little bit of everything, which is especially crazy when you actually see his specific upgrades. So let's dive into them. The first upgrade we'll be covering are his kit upgrades, and first up is Stampede. This upgrade gives TV Head more armor whenever he's around AI or fellow TV heads. The numbers this time around are 30% for 1, 50% for 2, and 60% for 3 and beyond. It's honestly a pretty solid upgrade, it's certainly not bad for the price. Next up is Big Bite, which temporarily stuns enemies hit by your snack attack. This stun gives the enemy just enough time to make a move on you before you're able to hit them again, so keep that in mind whenever you're using this upgrade. But besides that, this one is great. We also have one called Cathode Kaboom, which makes TV Head explode whenever he gets vanquished. This upgrade is alright, the damage isn't too bad, but frankly, you have better options if you're looking for cheap damage on your opponents. Finally, we have No Fail Pale, which gives TV Head 25 more HP. If I'm going to be completely honest about this upgrade, I don't personally think it's that good. The main reason I say this is because it costs 4 upgrade points, which could be spent on much better upgrades in my opinion. But if you think you need the HP, then by all means go ahead and use it. That's just how I feel about it. Next up are his ability upgrades, and first up is his Commercial Break. This ability has 2 upgrades, Channel Blocker Stalker and Drop in the Bucket. The first tracks the enemy that broke your bucket for a few seconds, and the second gives the bucket more HP. Truthfully, I don't think these upgrades are worth using in in most builds. They are far too simple for an ability that's already good on its own. Next up are the ones for Yeti Set Go, and these are Frost and Found and Zero Chill. Frost and Found tracks enemies hit with your Yeti for a few seconds, which is alright, but the real highlight has to be Zero Chill. This upgrade increases Yeti M's speed, and it's not by a small amount either. It moves 1.5 times faster forwards, 2 times faster backwards, and around 1.5 times faster sideways. So basically, this upgrade makes Yeti Imp, which was already dangerous, even more dangerous. This upgrade is absolutely disgusting, and that's why I recommend it for pretty much any TV head build. Finally, we have his Overheated Dinner upgrade, that being Dinner for 2. This upgrade increases the amount of dinners you throw out by 1, so now you throw 2 instead of 1. This upgrade used right can be really dangerous, as you can almost combo hits on a tough enemy, so overall this one's pretty good. Now, keen viewers might have noticed that I missed an upgrade, and you'd be right. That upgrade is Fast Forward, and there's a reason it isn't here. This upgrade is disabled in the core versions of BFN, and that means that you literally cannot use it at all. Heck, this upgrade was even removed outright in BFN Switch, so you know something fricked up. But aside from that upgrade, that is all of TV Head's upgrades. He's got some really interesting ones, that's for sure. And with that being said, I made a couple of example builds with his upgrades, so let's cover them. The first build is my personal build, with Critical Blow, Zero Chill, and Stampede. I like running upgrades that benefit my abilities and their cooldowns, so Critical Blow is a no-brainer for me, as well as having Zero Chill. Stampede is only here because it's always helpful to have when your team is spawning lots of AI. Next up is an ability build, with Dinner for 2, Zero Chill, and Refreshing Revive. I don't think I really need to explain this one, it really speaks for itself here. Finally, we have a melee build, with Big Bite, Speedy, and Rough Patch. If you ask me, this is one of the rare times where Speedy is legitimately a good upgrade to use, since TV Head actually has a melee attack. So with just about everything about TV Head covered, I think it's about time we answer the big question. Is TV Head worth trying? Well, I would say yes. Now don't get it twisted, I don't think you should buy this character as soon as you start playing, but if you're interested in what TV Head is capable of in this video, then by all means go for it. He's fun to play, but people might not like you for playing him. And with that being said, I think I'll be ending this video here. Thank you so much for watching until the end, I really appreciate it. And let me know, do you like TV Head? Do you not? Well, let me know in the comments down below. And if you're new around here and you like what you see, then drop a like, maybe even subscribe, and I'll be seeing you guys in my next video. Peace.